the chess?
Well, I enjoy being here, and I welcome the fact that we are able to do it this year. You know, so many things have had to be cancelled because of the pandemic, and now hopefully we are seeing the end of it and getting back to normality. I think it's very important that we are in the place that we are in terms of our position as a place for women to show that they are better than men.
Absolutely.
But you see, I am not a chess player. I don't understand it. You know, when I was a trade union leader, I played trade unionism, and when I became a political leader, I played being a politician, because that is, to me, something that is so engrossing that it touches every sphere of life. So, but I think there are things that people do that are challenging in the thing that makes a human being the human being, and that is his intellect. And intellect is about being able to think in abstract, which means in effect. You can imagine something happening before it's happened, and then deciding what you're going to do, and that is so symptomatic of the ability to play skills, the skill that you develop in the ability to play chess. So it's an activity that you know, I think is for those fortunate enough to have the skill, that is essentially being human. That is what you are. You are being human when you're doing this.
And well, Gibraltar has such a long-standing, such a close connection now with chess in the chess world. When people hear Gibraltar, they immediately think, you know, of the International Chess Festival. And you have seen it, you know, from the start. What has it meant to Gibraltar to have this tournament here?
I think it's important because, I mean, this has been going now for 18 years. So therefore, in terms of the things that we do, which are at an international level, this was a pioneering thing. That is, now we're doing this kind of thing in other fields, in other areas, right? And that, in terms of part of our livelihood, is the result of people visiting us. You know, we are now living in part from people visiting us, or from people coming here wanting to make this a home and having business activity here and participating in the global economy. So every time we're doing something that is international, what we're doing is making people more aware of Gibraltar. And in the global economy that we have today, you can't sell something unless people know that you're there.
That is very true.
So you're in the process of providing the venue and the opportunity to do this important thing here in Gibraltar, which I think is important because I think it is an intellectually challenging thing in a way that I cannot think of any other species being able to do it other than humans.
Well, also, I mean, none of it would have been possible, of course, without the support of the government, of everyone here in Gibraltar, so I think we're all very thankful.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. You've been to the festival many times. Usually there are hundreds of players. How did today compare? Now there's only 12 players. Yeah. They are all women players. What did you make of the atmosphere?
Well, I mean, the first thing that struck me was, is it that women don't enter a contest against males? Because that's the first thing you ask yourself. Huh?
Yeah. Well,
and you know, normally you would think that might be true where you've got big muscular guys, you know, lifting weights.
Yes.
But in terms of the importance, number isn't everything, you know. I mean, we live in by the very nature of the way society functions, human society functions now. Numbers is vital because everything is mass produced. But when you come from a place like Gibraltar, then the opposite concept holds, and that is that small is beautiful.
Absolutely.
So by that definition, what we have today is more beautiful than what we had before.
Well, it is a very special event, I think, for all the players, even for us, for the team, especially to be able to be here in Gibraltar, where the pandemic, as you mentioned, we're now, at least here in Gibraltar, luckily getting, you know, towards the end. And maybe tell us a little bit about how you've experienced it and, you know, how well Gibraltar has handled it.
You see, I think, frankly, Gibraltar, in many respects, has been an island de facto, even though we're joined by an isthmus with Spain. But because, in effect, our economy and our social structure and everything else is not integrated into the hinterland, and we've got a different cultural background from the British presence here over 300 years, it means, in effect, that there is an island kind of mentality to the Gibraltarian culture. And that means that, in effect, you will find that in proportion, small islands tend to have done much better than anything else. You know, for us, frankly, the problem has been that a big chunk of the economic activity in Gibraltar is our visitors. We had 10 or 11 million coming in as day visitors from Spain. We had cruise liners, and we had people coming in from the United Kingdom. Well, that had to stop, which had carried an economic price, but carried with it a benefit in public health, in that we were able to protect people better. And I think, as a whole, you know, when in a small place as a whole, people are more disciplined, and it's easier to persuade them to accept restrictions of movement. I think in bigger places, even when governments are trying to tell people to do something for their own good, they still go out and rebel against the people who are trying to protect them, which I find extremely strange, you know, because if the government is telling you, look, I mean, for example, I'm going to be 81 next month. So the government said anybody over 70 should not be allowed to go out to work and so on, and stay at home. I persuaded my colleagues that if it was to do ministerial duties, there should be an exception.
And you succeeded.
I succeeded.
Well, I mean, we're absolutely all so lucky to be here, you know, enjoying the benefits of the great job you have done. And I think I just want to thank you once again for all the support that everyone has given here to chess in Gibraltar. I very much hope that the next time I see you back here, we will have the festival again with the hundreds of people who are waiting eagerly to come back to Gibraltar. So, Joe, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here with us. Thank you so much for your time.
And I can tell you, notwithstanding the fact that you know, the finances have been hit like everywhere else, it will be my intention to continue financing this from the Ministry of Economic Development.
That's the best news we could get to end this interview. So, Joe, thank you so very much. And we'll be back with Nigel in just a minute.